Today we're going to talk about the value of surrounding yourself with people who are good at things that you consider yourself bad at, or people who are good at things that you want to be good at. And I currently live alone in a college town, and this comes up with me a lot because I often don't have anybody to compare myself to, which I know you're not supposed to compare yourself to people, but what I mean is there is nobody around me to put into perspective my traits. So if you want to be better at working hard and you feel like you're not necessarily that hard of a worker, I feel that way. I feel like I'm a very efficient, smart worker. I'm always trying to learn to be better, but I could do better at just like doing the work and working hard and putting in a lot of backbreaking work to get things done. And so if I live with or am surrounded by somebody who is a very hard worker whom I respect, maybe not anything about them except for their hard work, then being surrounded by that person, I am forced to reflect upon the fact that I don't think that I'm good at it or that is a trait that I want to get better at. And then I can basically take notes and steal from them to get better at it. Essentially, they'll be a good influence on me working harder and learning to do so. And so this is valuable because if you are isolating yourself, you are basically missing out on the cheat code. And if you're not isolating yourself and you're networking and you're meeting new people who are good at things that you're not, especially good at the things that you want to be good at but are not, then you're going to be far more successful than the person that isolates, like me, or lives alone, because you're not going to have anybody to learn from, and you're not going to have anything to, I wouldn't say compare yourself to, because that's not what it's about, but you have no ruler by which to mark yourself. And so you don't know whether you're good at socializing or bad at socializing. You don't know if you're good at working hard or bad at working hard until you have something to compare it to. I don't mean comparison as in like comparison is the thief of joy and you should compare yourself to other people and other people better than you. What I mean is if you are surrounded by somebody who works harder than you, it puts into perspective the fact that you don't work very hard. But if you have nobody to compare it to, you may think that you work hard, but you don't. And so you want to be around killers because then it makes you a killer. And this is what a lot of successful people have done is they've met a lot of people who they want to be more like or got around and networked. And in many ways, this is kind of also why it's about who you know and why entrepreneurship and business is so much so surrounded by networking or determined by networking and who you know. Not only because knowing people and treating them well will get you ins and then favors and then what people call luck in the future, but also because surrounding yourself with people and having a broad network gives you more people to learn from. And if you learn from more people, you learn faster than everybody else, you become more successful than them. So that's just a nugget of wisdom today. And I hope that you can leave this video with some sort of action item as to maybe finding somebody to surround yourself with and embrace the idea of somebody else being better than you or something, because it's going to put into perspective your skill level and will help you improve at it. Me personally, I noticed that I can be stubborn and impatient at times, and therefore surrounding myself with another person at all would force me to be more patient because I would have to take into consideration what they want. For example, living with somebody else besides living alone. And another thing to consider is I believe that I am a smart worker and I'm an efficient worker, but I'm not a hard worker. And I think that that's a trait because I stand by the fact that the three things that make a successful person is consistency, hard work, and constant learning. So I am constantly learning and I'm working on the consistency thing, especially by posting these videos, but the hard work gets put into perspective every time I do some sort of physical labor or work around other people because I notice that I'm lazy and that's bad. And so by surrounding myself with hard workers all the time, it puts into perspective the fact that I'm not a hard worker. And then I can look at these people and either talk to them or take notes about what they do. And it inspires me myself to work harder. And so the best way to do this is just to move in with somebody who has traits that you want and vice versa. So if you have traits that they want and they have traits that you want, if you move in together, you'll either break each other because you have opposite traits and your prides will get in the way and you'll get pissed off, or it'll make both of you way, 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 way better than you used to be because you'll take notes from each other and fill in the weak spots, and then you guys will become machines. And so that's something that I'm personally thinking about because in my life, I want to become a better worker, and therefore I'm working hard to try and surround myself with people who are also hard workers because I think I can learn through them, and also by just doing more work and working hard. But otherwise, that's everything for today. Action item for you is to go out, find somebody who's good at something that you're not, try and be friends with them or start hanging out with them more. I'm sure you have a friend or a family member or literally anything, that somebody that you have contact with that is good at something that you want to be good at. Contact them. Start seeing them more, start talking to them more, and try and get better at that thing. People let their pride get so much in the way, and if you disregard your pride, you can do so much more. Because the reason why so many people are unsuccessful is because they're too scared or too prideful to take somebody who's better than something and either ask for help or take notes from them. Because if they have to take notes from them, then that means that they're better than they are, and they can't possibly accept that because their egos are too big, their pride's too big, and their self-respect is too small. And so try that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.